Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to Israel to my father, mother, my family. Boy, have a nice and beautiful day. Keep smiling. God bless you and God bless America. Boy.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I hope that lifted your spirits. Something a little funny to look at before we get pretty fucking dark. I compiled a few clips, and as I was looking through these things, I noticed a little bit of a pattern, and it's not just hatred, it's actually hatred of the self. And I didn't even realize it until I kind of compiled all of these clips together. And I'm not gonna lie, man. It's very sad. Some of the shit that's out there. God, one of these clips really hit home, and so I'm gonna make you watch it. But like I said, I noticed something, and it's, you know how they say there's a humiliation ritual out there, and basically degrading everyone. And it's not just, I guess I would be coming from the whiter Caucasian side of this. It's on all fronts, and it's not just your race. It's also your gender, your status in society overall. I think I'll first show off some pictures I saw on Twitter before we get into the clips, and I just kind of wanted to go over them. Let's see. Let me pull them up here, and here we go. So, sorry, gotta make myself invisible here. This is being advertised on Twitter. These are all pictures from Tommy Chong's advertisement. Let's see if I can go back. Very useful. Thank you. Love dealing with this. Okay. That's also another ad that I saw. Different company. This is another energy drink from Tommy Chong, the beloved cartoonish character from, well, I didn't really grow up with him, but I kind of enjoyed his stuff when I was younger. And I'm not too fond of what he's doing here, selling pre-rolls and mushrooms. And this is coming from someone who's pretty educated in both. I removed the videos that I had, but let's just say I am very acquainted at how to put this. Conceiving a strong product. This really troubles me. That really, really, really bothers me. Seeing people, and from what I was reading in the reviews or in the comments of this, is that it's not even real, like psilocybin or psilocin. It's basically just like some what you call those bath salts. I would assume some synthetic, and it's pretty crazy that they're selling that kind of stuff. You know, there's probably some college kid, young teenage kid, because now, like back when I was younger, you actually had to like basically be friends with people to go and get this kind of stuff. And those people usually sucked. If you're a drug dealer or drug user in high school, I stayed away from you because you were a piece of garbage trash. I know that some other people weren't lucky enough to avoid that. But now it's, you can have a Twitter account when you're 13 or whatever. No one's checking your ID. And even then, IDs, when was that like a stop of people getting their hands on illegal things or even legal things? I think that's awful. I really, really, that really, really sucks. Like, because Tommy Chong, like, when I grew up, watching his movies, I wasn't a pothead when I, like, saw Tommy Chong. I didn't smoke pot until maybe, like, 21. And I just thought he was funny. Everyone thought it was funny. The Dave's Not Here bit and all that stuff. Just a lovable goofball stoner character. He's not hurting anybody, you think. And then coming from somebody who, knows the ins and outs of growing, I really, really detest that I wasted so much of my time learning all this stuff. And really all that it's come to is, telling other people not to do it because I know all the ins and outs of it. That really is kind of a ironic twist. And funny enough, I used to be really, really like spiteful against the potheads in high school and up until about college, where they got me with the mind rot and suckered me in for a few years into the liberal mindset. But that really is pretty bothersome to see somebody, he knows better. You should know better than doing that. It really is a sick thing to do. The other thing, let's see. What do I want to start out with? I don't even know if I really want to play this. This is just some stupid fatigue shit. This woman does not like herself. This woman is just, she's overweight. She's a mess in public. And that'll lead me on to the next thing that I'm going to play. But it's just so upsetting to see, like, I would take my, there's one thing like me and my wife would notice is when we'd go and take our kids to the park. And unfortunately, we now, out of safety, have to go and leave the park whenever people of this orientation appear, just out of precaution, because I've had one just walk up to me and hit me, and God help me if that happens to my little girl. I'm not going to talk about that, but it's not safe to be around these people. It's not. And, I have sympathy for them. They hate themselves. They really do. And this next clip right here is going to really demonstrate it. And from my personal experience, I did date a black girl for quite a few years in my college liberal phase. And it really radicalized me to know what they think about you behind closed doors, because you can only hide that for so long. And I would be hanging out. I pretty much spent about 4 years of my life where it was basically me and only black people, and sharing an apartment with only black people. And I really got to know the ins and outs. At the same time, and when I say black people, I'm American blacks, because one of the things at the same time, and I really wish he didn't ruin this relationship. I was in college and I was tutoring this guy from Sudan. He's a Sudanese lost boy. Excellent guy. And so if you don't know what's going on in Sudan, Sudan's been basically the center of a giant revolution for decades now. You never hear too much about it, but they became prominent as the Sudanese Lost Boys. And so you've got the, I believe it's the northern are the Christians and the southern are the Arab. No, it would make more sense if the northern were the Arabs and the southern were the Christians. And he was one of the Christians that got displaced because obviously, well, the Christians are probably not starting any kind of genocides for the most part. And you can think about who maybe would be in that area that's likes to go and do that and do some horrific things. So these guys, a lot of young men were brought over here as refugees, and they were called the Sudanese Lost Boys. And Abraham was a really great guy. He was in school with me. We met in our earth-based science class, and I didn't charge him or anything. He just asked me for help, and so I just ended up tutoring him throughout college. He wanted to be a cop, or go into, like, most of his studies were around policing, and in the nights or off when he wasn't at college, he was welding. And he brought me over to his family one time, and we actually spent the night over at his house one time because someone robbed him. And I got one of my, I was a former skinhead, and I got one of my skinhead friends to go and sit over there with him. And we made sure that nobody came back. And he was profoundly racist against what we call blacks here. He dropped quite a few N-bombs, and he was very homophobic. And I remember being such a little bitch about his, I didn't give him too hard of a time. I just kind of said, hey, man, these are people too, and they have feelings, just kind of just gay, ironically gay shit. And turns out he was right. Turns out the guy that was older than me, that was a war refugee, knew more about the world than I do. Go figure. 21-year-old dumbass fucking kid that doesn't know what you want to do in college. So that I have a soft spot for some of these people, and I have experience. It's not just me, like some guy that got robbed once, or I had a bad experience and it left me jaded forever. I think really a lot of it, what pisses off a lot of people, that because most people would assume that I'm some kind of neo-Nazi or white supremacist or nationalist. I just want to be left the fuck alone, and I want my family to be safe, and I just happen to notice patterns. And I'll interact with people at limited, distances for the most part. I try to stay away from almost everybody. I don't particularly enjoy certain groups of people just because I notice things are going on. And that's out of my own safety. This will be very disappointing to a lot of people. Sorry to hear that if you don't like me. But when I was a skinhead, I used to get along with everybody. That was the thing that really was so mind blowing to me about why I left. Is they all, like, the people that are in Antifa and the people that are neo-Nazis or whatever, the guys that have swastikas or just any kind of SS shit on them. They all listen to the same music. They go to the same shows. They go to the same clubs and parties and bars. They enjoy the same fucking things. The reason I was a skinhead is because it wasn't anything really racial. Sorry, my nose is still a little fucked up. And what it was is that I wasn't a druggie in the punk scene. I like punk music. I like rock and roll. I like being a little wild. But I also, I wasn't about going and abusing myself. And I thought that the right was I was a little bit more right wing. And if you actually study anarchism, it is pretty right wing. It may have started out from the left, but it's pretty right wing when you start really thinking about the tenets of it. So I gravitated towards, not dressing like shit. I liked being prim and proper, but also having a little bit of a, I guess a little bit of a punk look, but also being, a little bit more clean cut. And it's astounding the amount of times that I would be sitting in the room with people that were out and open and would say that they were white supremacist or whatever, and then we would be hanging out with someone that was Jewish or black or like Jamaican or, just it was whatever. Really, the understanding is to me, what the argument is who the bankers are and who the rich are and who's in control. That's really all that separates those people. I know that's going to upset a lot of people, but I don't think you found my channel because I'm likable. So this is a little video that I watched on Twitter that really exemplifies how, I used to get made fun of by the black kids in school because I wore tight pants when I was kind of like in the punk shit. And, the same black kids now are wearing like patches all over their denim and tight ass pants and just the fucking most like, punk meant gay originally. And you really start seeing the single mom, absentee father in the punk scene and in the black community. And now you see these people that hate themselves trying to be what they proclaim they hate, which is white people. And, well, here we go.
Today we is replacing the frontal. As you can see, I just cut the lace. Instead of taking the whole ponytail down, I just cut the lace and took the top part down. And that frontal look good still. Damn, Mo. But yep, this is what we got right here. This is the top of the head, and I'm about to replace it with this one. So cute. Boom. There you have it. So cute. Book with me.
God. That's really sad to me. That's really profoundly sad. Especially when you see this shit with, I didn't save the picture, damn it. there's a picture of the new country music awards, and one is Beyonce. He's got the blonde hair and magically has lightened her skin. And you know who also magically became white as ivory is Michael Jackson. And a fun fact about Michael Jackson, in his inner circle was Mr. Rabbi Shmuley. Rabbi Shmuley was in Michael Jackson's inner circle. And, Michael Jackson also had a very keen liking of a certain man, and the armbands. He collected a lot of Nazi paraphernalia. I'm sorry if I hope it's not picking up me drinking. God, I'm so done being sick. But these people, you gotta understand your enemy. When I was a little kid, one of the first books I read, I pulled it out of my dad's closet, and that was Sun Tzu's Art of War. And it really formed my mind into how I engage with other people. I don't really go into it with blind hate. I try to understand my enemy and give them credence. That's how you defeat somebody, or you make friends with them. And you don't get too far just underestimating people or not understanding where they come from. That's why I've also said before, which is, a spicy hot take, I'm the first person that will remove you from this earth if you touch my child. But at the same time, I also know that just aimlessly slaughtering pedophiles is not going to solve that issue. There's some kind of underlying thing. And in fact, let me go and play that clip now as to a country that seems to be harboring them. And this is a little bit of a sad clip.
Now, you've written about rape.
This, by the way, is from the Israeli news. It's not just some off-brand shit. This is from the actual Israeli news. So let me turn this volume up a little bit.
In Israeli schools, haven't you? And Latifa's report there, talked about multiple gang rapes in schools. This is truly shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I've written 2 reports actually on the fact that Israel is, one, a haven for pedophiles. Tens of thousands of pedophiles have been given refuge inside Israel. But the most recent report was, in fact, an investigation. And I think this is important to make this point. These investigations are being carried out by Israeli media. This isn't something that is being concocted external to Israel. And the recent investigation by Israel Hayom into the ritual gang rape by, again, members of the educational community, the religious instruction community, so rabbis, leaders of the community, family members and relatives. This is another very important point to be made. And many of these gang rapes were conducted under some kind of macabre religious ceremony where the child was offered up as sacrifice for redemption for those performing the gang rape. And in many cases, from what I read from the testimonies, children were told that if they didn't offer themselves up for this ritual sacrifice and rape, multiple rape, then another child from the family would be taken in their place. So it's a complete destruction of a child's mental state and their emotional and spiritual state, because of course the fact that this rape is being conducted by members of the educational school system is going to break down their ability to both process this rape and to deal with it in the future.
Yeah. So that's not cool. I don't like that. Very, very gruesome shit. And oh man, that's not even the worst clip I have for you today. Because I have one that let's see. Before I go and play that one, I'm gonna show you a tweet by somebody. This is, go ahead and show you, Mr. Jackson Hinkle. And I've made no buts about it that I do not like Jimmy Dore. And Jimmy Dore was so fond of this asshole. And it just took us a couple of clicks in less than 5 minutes when he had him on there. And I only used to watch Jimmy Dore because I used to like listening to Mr. Kurt Metzger and him go off on his rants. And Jimmy Dore basically did he just had access to good guests a lot of times, just like Tim Pool. The only reason anyone ever watches Tim Pool is to watch the guests on there. So Jackson Hinkle made his spotlight on there because he was arguing with some stupid British journalist and making him look like a complete jackass about Israel. But he's also a avid communist, and this is the shit that this moron would put up there. And Jimmy Dore does this all the time because he's a fucking socialist, and people in the right wing are so goddamn they do it with everyone, but it's like the same thing they do with black people, where it's like, look, I got a base black friend. I like the Hodge twins. They're fine. But it's, just because someone's good on one thing doesn't mean you need to platform them, and it's always just fucking gatekeeping or just moving the Overton window the other way. And I can't stand that shit. And it always bites that stupid asshole Jimmy Dore in the ass because he just doesn't get it. He got burned by that one, what's that fucking, that Harvard professor, that black guy that went on Gavin McInnes' little short stint where he would have like two opposing people in a bar. Fuck, what was his name? But he burned him, and he was like, oh, he's a sellout. And, just like Bernie Sanders, blew Jimmy Dore's mind that he sold out too. When are you going to get it that all you socialist assholes, you're liars, you're dishonest people? It's all low T shit. Low T people are always going to be dishonest with you. I can see it in their faces when you just, I don't know. I can see it in certain people when I'm just like, yeah, you're going to be dishonest. You're too weak. There's something about you that's just not masculine, and you have too many feminine qualities, and you're going to do something awful. And let's see, before I get to the really dark shit, since I'm talking about this feminine qualities shit, I'm glad that finally people are waking up to something that I guess I just was so brilliant when I was a child that I just didn't understand the infatuation with sports and primarily football. I really, really, really hate football. I really hate watching sports. I really hate guys that watch sports a lot. I've always hated that. It's just a stupid, weak thing. Like, I have no problem playing the sports. I've played pretty much every sport there is. And if I'm gonna, I'd rather be on the field. I don't understand what's this fascination of watching other men do something that you can't do. I'd rather do it. And it just, it doesn't enter my mind. I don't understand how that works for certain people. So this really, I'm glad people are starting to wake up to this. And play.
Fucking 16th, and we've lost the Europa League final. I've never been more emotional about football in my life.
What the fuck have I just witnessed? A grown man crying about his football club losing a game in the Europa League final is a quite perfect summary of how men in the UK have not only been radically feminised, but also radically psyoped by the Brandon Circus's bullshit. This is a 27-year-old man. 27! He didn't even go to the game, and yet he's crying on camera about his team losing. Wow. There are random, unvetted, third world foreign nationals staying in hotels and HMOs paid for by the taxpayer in and around primary schools in local communities. Are you going to cry about...
And just so you know, when I look at a guy like this, he's not even that masculine, and he's figured it out. What the fuck? It's not that difficult.
That your government is funding multiple wars overseas with your tax money, thousands and thousands of people, innocent civilians dying every single year. Are you going to cry about that? Chelsea fans earlier this year protesting about how Bluco and Todd Bowley are running their club. But you're not going to protest about how your government is running your country and selling you out left, right and centre, the thing that actually makes a difference to your life. Pathetic. Our ancestors fought for our freedoms. They charged into battle, knowing almost certainly that they were going to be defeated. Young lads under the age of 18 lying about their age just so they could serve their country and fight for their freedom. Just for the most pathetic, feminised, overgrown children in the 21st century to cry about their team losing a game and not give a single shit about what's happening in their country.
Yeah. How about that? It's a real pet peeve to me too, because when I go to work, I'm surrounded by men who are some of the best when it comes to being mechanics, and very intelligent because it spreads on into their other interests. We have people, well, we're not allowed to do it. They cracked down on it, but people were building rifles in the shop. Half the conversations are either, rifles or dirt bikes that I'm listening to. But then I also have to listen to them fucking talk about sports. And then they fucking gossip around each other. And I'm like, this is where it is. This is how they get in. That's your weakness. That's your little thread that they pull. And you watch your fucking sports, and it just makes you a gossipy little hen. And it fucking drives me up the goddamn wall, dude. I can't stand watching people that are grown men who are fucking fully capable and more masculine than probably 90% of the other fairies that are floating around in the particle sphere around me. And even then, they just can't keep their fucking mouths shut. They're just, if they get bored, they're gossiping or talking about fucking sports. Why? Why do you fucking give a shit, dude? And I made the mistake of actually a few years ago watching. My wife likes what is it, the NFL. She likes professional. My dad likes college. I always get them mixed up. And she wanted to watch the Super Bowl, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, man, these guys. All I hear about is how amazing athletes they are, and then sometimes they make these amazing plays, and I'll watch them do these like just amazing feats of athleticism, and then it looks like almost they're throwing it. And wouldn't you know, I was like, hey, baby, this kind of looks like this is rigged. Like, this is fake. Like, these guys are fucking up on purpose. She goes, oh, yeah, I know. The Super Bowl is rigged. And I was like, I guess because I'm not in that sphere, that she was like, just so matter of factly, just like, yeah, it's rigged. Like, and it made sense because I was like, man, this looks just like wrestling. It looks like, and not like, college wrestling. I'm talking about like the WWE shit or whatever, costume shit. So on the topic of, God, this is going to be a rough one, guys. This one is, oh man, this one is going to really upset you because it really, really bothered me to see this. God, dude, if you thought, yes, the other video that when we were watching on a live stream with that girl that was the femdom shit was bad, and when she was humiliating that guy about turning him into a cuck or convincing some guy to castrate himself or just conversing about how it's a good thing for you to consume fecal matter as other people jog by her in the park. Oh, fella. You have no idea what God. Oh, and the worst part is no problem playing this on YouTube. There's absolutely no problem. Because it's Jesus. All right, buckle up.
Olsen had a decision.
You are in the perfect place to start on blockers.
And she promises to begin giving her estrogen, female hormones, in 2 years.
Around 13. That's what I think.
Just look at that face. This is just, God, look at how narrow those eyes are. And this is just going back to the theme of just not, God, this is really, I haven't even gotten through the whole fucking clip, dude. It makes me so profoundly sad. I saw some idiot doing this with a 2-year-old. And I have a 2-year-old. Oh, man. You think I'm bad? You should hear my wife's opinions. She stopped letting our daughter found a show that she really enjoyed. And it's called Dino Ranch. And God, it one of the there was a set of parents on there on Dino Ranch, a little animated series, and it was 2 dads. They had a pair of gay dads. Well, if that didn't top it off, those gay dads were T-Rexes. Yeah, whatever, just fuck it. We'll just throw all the fucking spaghetti at the wall. Whatever fucking sticks, Jesus, dude.
That's what I think. Yes, you're not going to develop breast buds on the blockers. but you're not going to wait until 16 to start. You know that, okay?
Josie received the blockers as an implant in her arm.
It's okay.
God, dude. That really... God, man. That really upsets me. Look at this poor kid. Obviously, dad's not there. Even if he was, he's not there. Jesus, man. You know, when I used to go to church, people would get really uncomfortable around me. Not just because I'm a weird fuck, but people would get really uncomfortable about me because I would start talking about this shit that, you know, that you're watching right here. The shit that I watch, you know, about the Finders. If you don't know about the Finders, that's one where the government was helping with this kind of stuff, abducting and facilitating. And, God, dude, I actually just met a special forces guy that was telling me about how he broke up a child ring over in the Middle East. And I saw a picture of these kids out there in the desert, just all by themselves out there, just after they had just freed them. I saw some really bad stuff, and fuck, man, to go and just, these kids are just permanently screwed up. Like, wow, man, it's really just unbelievable. You know, my daughter, when she gets a boo-boo on her knee, I mean, that's hard for me. You know, I give her a hug. But Jesus, dude. God. I used to play video games, and there was a kid on there that, on the server that I used to play on, that was transitioning, and you know, this happened over 15, 17 years ago. I'll never forget it. I never forget saying this. This kid was transitioning, or he's maybe college age, and he was struggling with having enough money to pay for his transition. And I remember saying it to him, and I bet you, hopefully I saved his life, because it was such a profound thing for me to have to fucking tell him this. I said, man, I cannot comprehend my biggest problem in the world being that Jesus fucking Christ, dude, that I didn't have enough money to cut my privates off. Could you imagine being in the situation where you don't have enough money, but the problem is that you need that money to go and remove your genitals? Could you imagine how much you hate yourself, how much you were taught to just not be comfortable in your skin? The amount of drugs that you were put on, subjected, the abuse. It's like so much fucking evil in this world. And I remember telling people this shit in my church about, like, they would always be talking about the devil. And then I would tell them this shit. And it's like, where do you think the devil acts through? You know, is it that hard to comprehend? Like, you're seeing it. You're seeing the evil. I don't understand why this is so difficult for you to understand. It's right there in front of you. You don't want to hear me talk about how these people that you prop up in the front of the church podium are the ones that are pushing this shit on your kids, sending you off to die for some stupid, awful country that hates you, to go and get medical procedures during the height of a certain giant event. And you're pushing that, and you can't see where the evil is. It's just Satan. Where do you think he is? He's not some guy with a tail. It's not some just guy like, oh, they're so fucking stupid. That's why we had to leave the church, is because these people are just clueless. And there was a few people that missed me and would ask, like, where I went through, like, mutual friends. And maybe I'm a coward for not telling them, but I can't be part of that shit. But I don't want to take away that thing that makes you happy. A lot of these people are just good people, and they're not going to listen to me anyway. Sometimes I would find people, I would see, the problem is I open my mouth and I say things that a lot of people are thinking. And because I'm very reckless, I don't care, what people think of me. And some people, think that's a bad aspect, bad quality, to be so, loose-lipped about this shit. But what am I here for? My body is my body is to serve. I only have one soul that I can save. I have to keep my soul clean. I don't do the greatest job of it, but fuck, man. If I'm not fucking at least trying, like, the least I can do is talk about shit. I'll help you move sometimes, but Jesus, dude, like, we gotta, like, if you don't know the problem, how are you gonna solve it? So, with that joyous little ramble, let me go back to showing you this clip.
So with all the bravery she could muster,
you're gonna feel a little bit of a
Josie held on tight as another chapter opened in this young girl's life.
That is a profoundly sick few seconds of video right there. That little ow. That little ow really kills me. It makes me really fucking mad. It really makes me goddamn fucking mad when I see that goddamn shit. If I was in that room, God help you people. You fucking goddamn... Oh, you fucking little pieces of shit. You have no idea what I would do. If you... Oh, goddamn. And then right after that narrator... Listen to this fucking monster.
In this young girl's life.
This young girl's life. That's someone's little boy. That's someone's little fucking boy, man. That's just one of them. And these people flaunt it in your face. They're happy about it, man. People pay $50, $70 something thousand to have all sorts of wickedness done to their children. You know, the person that ran YouTube for the longest time, I mean, it's Shakespearean, buddy. She lost her kid after she went on some fucking depraved march through the internet, tearing down everybody's channels because he was becoming right wing. You know, I never heard anything about this kid's father, but she went on some fucking hell's march and destroyed all of the good talking points and communicators on YouTube because she was losing her little boy to masculinity. And what happens? He ends up dying on an overdose in college. One of those cesspools that go and propagandize you. And then out of karma, she ends up dying too. From a mysterious sudden death. There's so many things in my life, little costs in my life, little numbers that will repeat as to just little signs of shit that makes me know there's a God there. And I don't pray because, and people tell me this all the time that I need to pray. I don't like praying because I don't like asking God for stuff. But sometimes I will. But, oh man, this is sick shit. This is sick, demonic shit.
A lot of times it strikes me that had this happened just 20 years ago.
Thank you.
Look at the haircut on Mom. Look at the haircut on Mom.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers. And
look at that poor kid. People think I'm fucking crazy because I won't subject my child to being in the school system. I've gotten so much shit from my family about not going along the way that I was raised. Going through either really exclusive private schools or public schools, just really exploring every gamut. And my kid, that's all I have this body for, is to protect her. Protect both of them. But my little 2-year-old, God, dude. Thank God I have a wife that is so on board and so fucking smart and such a good person that I'll never have to worry about this shit. But holy fuck. Can you imagine? You know, this is a problem of confidence too. Because not only is it the confidence of this child, it's the confidence of the father to not go and tell Butch here, that haircut looks awful on you, and you're not going to do this to my kid. And this person hates themselves too. You can see just the inner turmoil spilling out like a little cup into this child here. And just the cycle will continue and just keeps pouring out into the next person. Just like a fucking demon being exorcised out of one soul to the other. But it's just a fountain. and it goes in all directions. I hate this. It makes me so infuriated, and people just in my life don't understand why I'm so mad all the time. They don't know why I'm so fucking pissed off. I'm doing this for you, you fucking idiot. I have to look at this fucking shit so I can tell you about it, so you can fucking look it up if you don't fucking believe me and start changing the fucking world. That's all we fucking have. People that don't fucking, like they call politics gay. Fuck you, you piece of useless shit. Go live in a goddamn sewer. You don't deserve to be with the rest of us. You don't deserve to be in society. If you're not going to pay attention, look what your parents gave you. Your parents took the time to go and raise you, put minerals and fucking all the resources into saving you. You're here for a fucking reason. You're here to fight fucking evil. I'm so fucking sick of weak fuckers. I walk around everywhere and I just look at the fucking consumerist shit. Fuck you.
I wouldn't have been able to give her blockers, and she would have had to go through male puberty. That terrifies me.
It's all done. Do you want a hug?
I don't know that she would have survived male puberty.
You don't think he would have survived male puberty? Holy goddamn shit. Sorry, I lost my voice going on that fucking Alex Jones tangent. Losing my goddamn mind. We're, this little clip, too, that I got here, I'll show you, holy fuck. Imagine being, like, my wife would never fucking do some shit because, like, I don't hit women, but she would fully expect me to fucking clock her for doing something like that. Now, when you understand who this is and really all the gory details of what that was, that ain't no lady, man. That thing's got some fucking balls on it. Oh. Just look at that face. Look at that face. God. If you're not aware, that's Emmanuel Macron. And that was his lady putting her fucking hands, and I'm being nice when I say putting her fucking hands in his mouth, and then he just has to look at those fucking cameras. The entire world is watching you, and your entire life is coming down. It has been one horror show. And Jesus, buddy, get out of there. You could go and spill the fucking beans. You could turn the whole, you could fix Europe if you just became a man. If you just stood up against that thing, stood up against the rest of the UN, rest of NATO, EU. You're not going to. But you're a victim. This kid was fucking groomed. by that fucking monster, and it celebrates it. I highly urge you, if you haven't seen Candace Owens' breakdown of this entire debacle and seeing these fucking just nasty little nasties get their fingers into every pot. Oh, it's a dark, dark, dark world when you start finding out everything about these people. This one right here, I mean, you could save so much of humanity just by speaking up, saying you are a victim of that monster who some people say could be your father or your uncle. Some very, very weird bloodline shit in there. I'm sorry about that. You could stop so much blood, so much killing from just speaking out against this fucking war. I don't know what else they got on you, but you got a lot on them. And that you were fucking groomed into marrying some fucking, you'll see fucking Mick Jagger looking. These hips don't lie when they walk down those steps, buddy. God. Oh my God. You are going to tell me that that is a woman? I don't even know, like, I haven't taken, what's that fucking course that nurses always have to take? It's like fucking 4 courses in total. Anatomy. It's one of the fucking worst courses in biology is anatomy. Because there's like anatomy 4. And just like the fucking, I had to help people study for anatomy. And I was a bio major for a little bit, and I had a nurse girlfriend. And you don't have to be a fucking practitioner to know when you look at this fucking just, this, whatever this is. I don't have the medical terms for this, but that is a man. That's a fucking man. And to know that that is like 27 years your senior when you were 16, I believe it was, that got a hold of you and then gets their portrait taken with just, they include it in the portrait. This person included in their portrait a book about pedophilia, about some guy traveling to the Middle East to procure young boys. And look what you procured. You procured yourself the president of France. Wow. I mean, as far as, pedophiles go, you did a good job. But unfortunately, you're going to hell. And it couldn't happen soon enough. You're putting this guy through hell. But look at, just imagine. How did we, I guess we don't really pay attention to them. And all they had to do, according to Candace Owens, was just keep their fucking mouths shut. And they couldn't do it. Because evil just has to let you know it's there. How does that not look like a guy in a wig to you? Even that, if that's your real hair. That's profound. That's fucking profound. Oh. What is going on there? I mean, my ex-wife was 4 years older than me. And as I got closer to 30 and she was 34, 35, it's weird having a woman older than you. It's a weird dynamic. I've banged plenty of cougars. I've banged plenty of women that were, twice my age when I was in my 20s. That's what you fucking do. My wife's significantly younger than me. But having a woman older than you as a relationship, it's just weird, man. It's just fucking weird. And when you start out that relationship at 16, what the fuck? That is a humiliation ritual if I've ever seen one. So, let's go back to hating ourselves. Let's get a little bit of a palate cleanser. It'll be a little bit funny.
That's what we used to fucking do. I'm going to pick the car. Wow. This is great. I feel at home.
I don't know what reality is anymore. I don't know when people are doing bits anymore. But one of the things that came to light recently, someone was telling me, that cotton apparently wasn't that hard to pick. It wasn't as bad as they make it out to be. I'm not going to go out on that limb, but just watching that clip was very profound to me. Let's head on back to the U.S. and let's look at what cultural enrichment is doing.
Brought him ammunition and tactical gear. The grandmother says on Monday the child then told her before leaving for school with his mother he was going to be famous. So she reported it to police. The warrant states the grandmother then searched the child's room and found multiple loaded magazines and an improvised explosive device that had, quote, "for Britton Tarrant" written on it. Now, Britton Tarrant is the convicted New Zealand mosque shooter from 2019 where 52 people were killed. When investigators questioned the mother, Ashley Pardo, the warrant states she didn't seem concerned about her son's behavior despite knowing about his interest in mass shooting.
Yeah. Why do I keep seeing this thing where Mexicans love being part of the white pride thing? What is going on with that? What the fuck is that? It's I've seen it so many times. And speaking of Mexicans, here's some more Mexicans.
Hiding behind the poster.
I'm just joking. They're Guatemalans. And by the way, I watched a documentary a while ago about people of the tribe that were down in Central America. I didn't even know that this was a thing. They're quite prominent because they're able to have these horrible cults, little sects, of Judaism down there that keep people hostage and do some really fucking nasty shit. And this is a weird one, man. This is a very weird one to me.
Hey, amigo. ¿Tú hablas español o inglés? English? Poquito. Don't think he wants to talk. So this is how they're protesting. They're sleeping on the streets. As you can see, their women are all covered up. So all of these, they seem kind of reluctant to talk. All of these little makeshift camps here are them. Una pregunta. ¿Hay alguien aquí que me puede explicar lo que está pasando? un representativo o algo así. Alguien que puede representar, hablar.
A veces más tarde porque estoy bien, no puedo hablar.
Pero alguien viene, ¿no?
A veces cuando termina eso.
Ah. ¿Solo él?
Hay uno que cuando termina eso de repente habla. Pero bueno.
Please let our children live. So nobody wants to talk. They're all.
Well, that's ironic. Jews hoping that to have their children live. Huh. That's weird. Because if you look at this little cookout that's going on right here, that's a cookout happening outside of the walls of Gaza. And boy, if you thought that video watching the child go through that medical procedure was rough, you should see when they're no longer alive to be able to do that. And that's pretty sick shit. They want you to hate them because that's how throughout history they've been able to manipulate people. And one of the things that's bothered me through being my journey through Christianity, when I first started, and what even prevented me from enjoying the Bible or wanting to be a Christian, is I have such a hard time believing, even though it's a fantastic book, some of the things that are in there just don't seem like they belong with the message. One of the things, like little acts of subversion. I don't like the little quote about when in Rome, do as the Romans do as far as paying your taxes. I had someone go up on the podium at my church one time saying that, and really, really irritated me. It really, really irritated me to hear that. Someone that was like, that's why we got to pay our taxes. Someone gleefully telling you to go and pay your taxes, and you're the one allowed up there at the front. God help them if they got me up there talking. Yeah. And one of the things that brought me to Christianity was I started noticing things. I started seeing things in my own life that reflected in the Bible. And I started seeing, as I got into the Bible, then I started getting more into geopolitics. And I started seeing patterns of history that seem to be repeating with a certain demographic of people that are perpetual victims. And, well, let's go ahead and see what this lovely lady has to say.
Wonder how it is so easy for people to fall into these anti-Semitic conspiracies and beliefs over and over again. Well, all of these anti-Semitic lies, conspiracies, and beliefs have been recycling themselves for thousands of years. They've been around for so long, and the entire point is that every time there's a global issue, anything happening within society, they need to scapegoat someone, and they need to put blame onto someone, and we know who that group is, unfortunately. The entire point is they'll find a way to take this anti-Semitic conspiracy or belief and shape it into a way that fits within a modern narrative, and then be able to point the blame on Jewish people. So
Wow. That, they really, sometimes you see them say this shit, and it's like, I mean, When I saw this one, I was just like, there's no way that this is fucking real. This is not a real like, I asked Grok, is this AI?
Wednesday, I'm going to Israel to my father, mother, my family. Boy, have a nice and beautiful day. Keep smiling. God bless you and God bless America. Boy.
Why? It's hard to believe that these people are real. And then I see pictures like this. Fucking. All right. Enough. There you go. Zoom in on that. Move my ugly face out of the way. All right. Israelis blow up civilian airplane Yemenia A320 landing in Sana'a, flying passengers home from a pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia. That doesn't seem like a good move. And they get away with it. And the shit is just so awful. And they control every aspect of what you're seeing. That's why it was so odd for me to see that guy. I'm telling you, watch out for that shit. That guy that I pointed out in my previous video. Watch out. Even if he's saying the right things, even if he seems like he's on your side, there's a reason they're letting him say that shit. Something's got to give with that. It doesn't add up. Because even right now, all the stuff that I'm playing here is really towing the line. And, man. And then I'm seeing Homeland Security do videos like this. This is wild that this is on, like, I played a video of, oh, that's something else I gotta play. Coincidentally, the that lithium mining group that I played a video of just uploaded a 30-minute video of a guy talking in one of their new camps for their future. So I'll have to go over that. But this is off of ICE's Twitter page.
Down, get down. That's fine. Hands. No, hey, cállate la boca.
That's off of ICE's official page. I mean, we need more of that, but it's also tantamount to watching nurses record themselves doing dances. Yes, I'm glad that they're recording it. It's good that we get to see that they're doing something. I don't think it's on the scale that it needs to be done. And that's all I'll say about that for now. But that kind of leads me into another thing I spoke about before, with that one about your VPN being useless and them using Flock to partner with developers that are building strip malls and all that shit to spy on you. Well, I hope that you were sleeping okay then, because now you will not sleep. This one is about how the grocery stores are definitely spying on you.
Made aware of how much the grocery industry is fucking spying on us. And I gotta be honest, I didn't believe it when I first heard it. Like, I was talking to a buddy about it, and he was like, no, seriously, they're spying on us. So I did some research into it, and he was 100% right. Like, it's fucking wild. Like a great example of this is a store I'd never shopped at called Kroger. And again, I haven't not shopped at Kroger because I hate them or anything. I just never had one in my area. But apparently they have like alternative profit divisions that are solely focused on monetizing our personal information. Like monetizing all the customer data they've actually taken in. And wildly enough, they've made more than $1 billion from this. A grocery store made $1 billion from monetizing your information. Like this is a store that profits like $3.5 billion a year. And 1/3 of that comes from monetizing our information. And another thing I learned was like, you know those little digital price things? Like instead of having the paper one, they got a digital one. Did you know that's there so they can like change the prices in real time based upon the traffic patterns in the store? Like they will change it in real time if more people are in the store. Like that's so fucked up, I almost kind of respect it. And even wilder, Kroger has this thing called an Edge Shelf, which is developed with Microsoft, which will actually facially recognize you, determine your like age and gender and things like that, and then adjust prices based upon what the AI thinks you'd be willing to pay for.
Welcome to the future. I told you it was going to get worse. And goddamn, that is spooky. Jesus, man. It's profound. It is fucking profound that they can just in real time change the price for what you're like. The article that this was coming from was about them changing the prices in real time to what they were teaming up with Microsoft to see what you're willing to pay based off of analytics, off of looking at you. So you might come in there and pay $5 for something, and someone else of meager means, or even actually meager means that's being supported by the government, is going to go inflate that price, and they get to charge, $5.50 because that's how government contracts work. Anybody familiar with contractor work or commercial work and the bidding is that government contracts are just like the creme de la creme of just juicy morsels for these fucking vampires that go and suck up your tax dollars through inflated bids. Oh, man. And that brought me to another point about, getting a little sleepy. Fuck. Let me play the last of this and I'll remember what I was talking about.
Something. Like, that's fucking nuts. Like, I expected to see this type of technology in, like, CIA facilities or embassies. But in a grocery store? Look, I gotta be real. I'm never going in a Kroger.
Oh, yeah. I was watching Tucker Carlson, and I wanted to play the clip, but I'm afraid I'll probably get yanked for it if I go watching it on my YouTube channel with you guys. It was this guy named Orrin something, not Orrin Hatch, and he was talking to Tucker Carlson, and of course, he is. It is that time. He is Bergstein wits, and he was talking about living on a kibbutz, arguing both sides, being trained to do that, and he was on one side of his mouth talking about how the free market is important, and then also like hypnotizing Tucker into saying, well, that's why we need regulations, and regulations are so important. And then he started giving the example of Mercedes and Audi and all these European car manufacturers that they had to go and set high tariffs and limits to importing because they were crushing American car manufacturers. Do you not understand what a fucking free market is? And he does. He knows exactly what he's doing because he's hypnotizing fucking dumbass Tucker Carlson, that fucking human Labrador retriever. Another one that just has good fucking guests on. He's not anything profound. He's not anything that's... He doesn't have anything. And he just has access that you don't. And he said, you know, if we didn't have regulations, these car companies would have gone out of business. They would have gone bankrupt. Yes, you retard. That's exactly what they should have done. I'm sorry that people lost their jobs. You know what we also shouldn't have bailed out? The banks. We should have defaulted on that. Now look what we are, like what we're doing. If we would have just done that during Obama's years, you know how much better it would have been? Now we're in fucking 10 times worse a situation. I don't even understand why we pay taxes. And not even for the fact that it's useless and we don't get anything. I mean, I don't understand why, aside from maybe it's the illusion of, and just to keep you poor pretty much, that there's no real reason to be paying taxes because you guys make all this money and you just pay yourselves. And then it's mind blowing when I said this a long time ago, like AOC was fucking correct. Do you understand how stupid your system has to be that woman is making good points about your healthcare services that we could have paid for our health services multiple times over, especially with all the money that fucking dumbass Trump printed out during his great fucking just 4 years first in the House. That fucking idiot. We could have had health care, and instead we bailed out a bunch of people and then had more wars. And like all these idiot liberals who are like, yeah, why are we, you know, not giving all these services? We should just paying for that. We probably would have been better off. You know, I'll give you Jimmy Dore credit for that. I don't think I have any more video clips. I think that's pretty much it. And that's an hour 30. So it's clean. It's nice little clean cut there. Yeah, you saw me get a little heated when I played that video about the children transitioning. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel about trying to wrap all this stuff into one juicy nugget for you guys to digest. And I have to go to work and I have to just listen to these fucking retards talk about the dumbest shit. They don't want to hear any of the stuff I have to say because God help them if they have to actually think. I have guys at my work that are so fucking smart. They're working on fucking Ferraris and they're telling me about how Trump's going to fucking trust the plan. These people just don't understand tariffs. How did that work out for you, idiot? And I'm going to do a video also. I got to research it a little bit more. But one thing that's been bothering me very heavily is I don't understand. I really don't understand the people that sell out this country for China as white people, because they're not going to take care of you if they take over. And I don't understand this weird tie that I'm starting to put together where both countries are printing out astronomical amounts of money. And I think I'm not going to go too far into that, but there's something odd going on there. So I appreciate you watching. Have a good night, and don't let the Macrons bite.